Through both recession and recovery, the share of young adults living in their parents' home continues to rise. Today's young adults are also more likely to be at home for an extended stay compared with previous generations for young adults who resided with their parents, according to a Pew Research Center analysis of U.S. Census data. As of 2016, 15% of 25 to 35-year-old millennials were living in their parents' home. An analyst on communication skills, he teaches workshops to millennials, author of The Old School Advantage, Timeless Tools for Every Generation, Jim Whidden. Is this a trend that bothers you, Jim?
Good morning. It certainly is. And, it's really a matter of economics and expectations. So when I talk about economics, it's obvious. They don't feel like they have enough money to move out yet. But, college is not for everybody. 40% of students that go up to college are not getting a degree, but they are getting the debt that comes with it. So it makes it an even bigger hill to climb. But, if we'd reestablish trades programs in high schools and colleges, we've got auto mechanics in Dallas making $175,000 a year. So there are solutions. But it's also expectations. I mean, traditionally, the old school way of doing things, if you will, you complete your education, you move out of the house, you get a job, you get married, and you have kids. Well, there are sociological reasons why those things are not happening, but that is a fact that the baby boomer parents aren't creating expectations that move people through the system, if you will, in that traditional way as much as they used to.
All right, you said psychological reasons? Sociological reasons. Okay, so, I think in the old days, Little House on the Prairie, everybody just lived together. I mean, other countries, they all just live together. We got the grandparents in the back there. We got the uncle and the aunt.
That's right. Let's just add on in the property.
So America, to do what we do is a little unique from the standpoint of human history, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, every age is different. But, there are some things, as you read the title of my book, that don't change. There are timeless tools. And moving out of the house creates an opportunity for independence, for responsibility. You've got to do the grocery shopping. You've got to pay the utilities. This makes better coworkers and employees. We work with companies from coast to coast and talk to them about this. Who should they hire? They need to look for young people that have communication skills, they're coachable, and they want to continuously learn. Well, those are the kids that have decided to move out early typically because those characteristics come side by side with those that want that independence. It's more unusual today, or I should say it's more common not to have these characteristics, but that doesn't mean that the characteristics aren't still valuable and what employers are looking for.
Jim, do you think we fall down a little bit in this country from the standpoint of education with money?
Oh, there's no question. I was in that business for 30 years, and the financial illiteracy rate is even higher than the general literacy rate, and that creates decision-making issues. That creates a lot of paralysis by analysis, and so people are prone to just, keep the status quo if they don't have compelling reasons to do otherwise. And certainly when people are ignorant about money, that's going to happen often.
My step-grandson is living with my husband's parents, and they're 88, I think, and he's like 26 or 7, and it seems like this is a good fit for us because he's kind of being their caretaker in their last chapter of life. So it's worked out well to have that mother-in-law's addition to the house and have him kind of watching over and helping with the medicine and being a caretaker of sorts. And I never thought about that coming into this chapter of life, but that works out well, Jim.
Well, there's certainly unusual circumstances where it does work out. That's what it sounds like is going on there. That's I don't know if that's a double or a triple generation gap, but certainly there are exceptions. We're talking, I think, in general, but that circumstance sounds like it is good for both.
I guess the line is if they can't make it on their own versus we like being here, supporting you, and hanging out together.
Gotcha.
That'd be my perception. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's part of it, that, parents are more friends to their kids now than they used to be. I don't know that that's always good. I mean, kids have friends. They don't need their parents to be that. They need their parents to be authority figures, wise counselors, That typically is what helps in the long run.
Well, I'm telling you, you teach workshops to millennials. What change do you see in this generation except that they are Velcroed to their phone?
Well, there's no question about that. I think what change I see is a tremendous opportunity because those in the millennial and the Gen Z generation coming up soon, by the way, they'll be working in 5 years, if they'll take advantage of the long-term wisdom that's been around, it's going to set them apart even more than it did in my generation. And so they have a tremendous opportunity to be unique. And ironically, that uniqueness simply means going back and using some of those old school ways that have never gone out of style, and they're always effective. And they'll be seen as new in this generation. That's what I find interesting.
Well, and I think, too, Jim, you can confirm or deny, but aren't the communication, people-to-people, eye contact skills diminishing because of the use of our social media to such an extent?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, I tell folks, and when I go into companies, I train young professionals. I tell them, look, if you'll write one handwritten note a day for the rest of your career, there's no way you can fail. Now, that sounds like a bold statement, and it sounds simple, but that's the impact that handwritten notes that are so rare have on those that read them.
Interesting. All right, Jim, how do people find you?
They can find me at theoldschooladvantage.com. The book is for sale there, and then there's a link to my main website as well, where we can work with companies around the country.
All right, Jim, W-H-I, David O-N, Whidden, Jim Whidden. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Theoldschooladvantage.com.